Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Hantner and welcome to CMSD TV, bringing you the latest news out of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Athletics are taking center stage lately, from the Super Bowl to National Signing Day to a new movie about Cleveland's own Jesse Owens. Let's take a look at how the CMSD community is honoring athletes for their accomplishments in the classroom and on the field. He started at Glenville High School and now he's a starting receiver in the Super Bowl. Ted Ginn Jr. is a household name in Cleveland, whether you're a Carolina Panthers fan or not. After years of bouncing around the league, it seems he's found a home with the Panthers, but he hasn't forgotten his roots. I sat down with his dad and former coach Ted Ginn Sr., who told me his son is more than ready to take on the Denver Broncos, and this game is about much more than football.
Looking for Ginn, he's got it!
It's a major accomplishment, you know, and it feels good to see him on that level of playing in the Super Bowl at the highest level. You know, it's been a nice journey, you know, and I'm just happy for him because this is the first time he's been this happy, you know, in his career as a professional. So I'm happy for him for that.
Touchdown! Ted Ginn Jr.
Part of that shared happiness can be attributed to Ginn Sr. beating the odds, surviving pancreatic cancer in 2012, and able to cheer on his son at many of his games for the past few years, including maybe the most hyped matchup against the Arizona Cardinals in January, earning the Panthers the NFC Championship and a spot in the Super Bowl.
The first touchdown, I knew what it meant to him.
Tossed again.
And, you know, he's doing his work and he's serving the right way, and the organization and his teammates and his coaches and everybody there, he's doing what he liked to do. He liked to give, he liked to serve, he liked to work, he liked to score, he liked to be an impact in the game.
And he's liked to do that ever since he was a kid. Just ask Leonard Jackson, Ted Ginn Sr.'s former football coach, who considers the Ginn father and son team family.
Well, I can tell you about the time when he was born. And his dad played for me back in 1970 at Patriot Junior High School. And I remember when Ted was born and how he came as a young boy following his father to the football field and following Coach Hubbard, who was the head coach at Glenville.
Ted been in big games, highest level ever since high school, and he was the #1 football player USA Today in 2004. So, you know, this is nothing new, you know, and we don't shake. The kids at Glenville don't shake because we are always working and serving, and you know that's our job. And so we expect this. We expect him to do. There's no excuses. I've always told him and all the children that you are the example of hope for everybody that's looking at you that want to be like you. And that's your duty to do the things the right way, and because people depending on that. Everybody in Cleveland should be looking to see for Ted, but it's not for Ted. Ted got to perform for everybody else, so that our city and our community and our school system can be proud. You know, you have to humble yourself in a situation like this and work and serve. That's the expectation that he has and we have as a family.
And that family name will be in the spotlight more than ever come Sunday on a jersey, hopefully in the end zone in the biggest game of the year.
It'll be a great day, I would say about 9:30 on Sunday night to win a national championship. Certainly, I think that is hopeful to this community, but also to his father. I don't want to break down and cry right now, but it'll be tears of joy, not only this community, but to Glenville and to everyone, that a young man made it.
I think to see Ginn Jr. means a lot, and just to see him be from where he's from means everything, you know what I'm saying? And to be on the highest level, it's like here with the kids here. Sometimes our kids just don't believe. And people in the community just don't believe. There's so many great people here. There's so many great people in the city of Cleveland. There's so many great people in these communities. And we just overlook it because we get tired. We don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? he's appreciative of being in this position, that he can be the light for somebody else. And that to give another kid somewhere else in America a chance. And that's what it's about.
Ginn Sr. will be at the game, and he told me he's not nervous at all. Kickoff for Super Bowl 50 is at 6:30 on Sunday on CBS. And now I think we all have a very good reason to watch besides the commercials. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. 30 CMSD student athletes just set a district record, the largest group ever to sign letters of intent to colleges and universities on National Signing Day. And I'm not sure who was more excited, the students, their families, or the coaches.
I never thought I'd be doing it, but I did it.
I feel like a little kid in a candy store.
One of the best days of my life.
Their son, linebacker DeMan Wilson, was one of 25 CMSD football players to sign a letter of intent, 18 of them from Glenville. He credits his mother for helping him stay on track.
My mom, I think she got me ready for that.
It was hard.
Nothing easy.
And it's not over. It's not over. I'm still going to be a sergeant over him like I have been.
She's not the only sergeant Wilson will have in his life. He's going to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
It was real exciting. I'm just humble. I'm ready to go to work.
But not everyone might be ready to go their separate ways. East Tech's Corian Cardwell and Chantel Bostic have played basketball together for the past 7 years.
We've been best friends since 6th grade,
So naturally, they signed their letters of intent together too, as the only female athletes at the historically all-male ceremony, and their coach couldn't be prouder.
They've been in my program, Corian since the 2nd grade and Chantel since the 6th. I met them and they both played 6th grade ball all the way up till now. So that unity right there and the hard work and sacrifice paid off. And they both have free education for their parents and themselves.
Cardwell will be attending Eastern Michigan University and Bostic, North Carolina A&T. Look for others on the court or on the field at Albion College, Ashland University, and Alabama State University, just to name a few. And if you're ever torn about which team to cheer for in an Army versus Navy game, why don't you just ask Wilson?
Go Army, beat Navy.
The Interscholastic Athletics Department estimated that the 30 students will receive a combined $2 million in scholarships. For more stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. Schools across the district celebrate Black History Month in many unique ways. This year, there was one historic figure that everyone, including Hollywood, seemed to focus on: East Tech alum and Olympic legend Jesse Owens. The new movie Race, about his quest to become the greatest track and field athlete in history, became a jumping-off point for CMSD schools, and a series of very special events unfolded as students learned about his legacy and honored the Olympian.
He trained hard to chase his dreams as the whole world watched, yet many people probably don't know his name. I'm talking about Stephan James, the actor who stars as Jesse Owens in the new movie Race.
For those 10 seconds, you are completely free.
He visited Cleveland School of the Arts ahead of the film's release for a Q&A session that felt like inside the actor's studio.
Do you think it inspired you to do greater, like compared to how all the opportunities that we have now? Did it inspire you to do greater, and do you think that the movie could inspire others to do the same as well?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, I really, it was important to me to get lost in this world and lost in this character. You guys will notice my hairline's a little different than Jesse's. So, that was funny, huh? I cut my hair like Jesse because I wanted to look in the mirror every day and see Jesse. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know that I didn't want to feel like anybody else. It wasn't about me anymore. You know what I mean? I was playing him 16, 17 hours a day. And for me, it was very, very important to look and to feel and to be him. It was very important to the story. For me to bring a human aspect to this big hero, this larger-than-life individual that we always hear so much about. I was very, very inspired by Jesse and his story, and I took it personally to be able to be the vessel that gets to show other kids, younger than me, older than me, athletes, non-athletes, everybody, about the type of life he lived. People can look at Jesse and his story and think, if Jesse could do what he did at the time in which he did it, where he did it, then there's really no excuse for anybody in here to accomplish great things.
James told the students he trained like a track star for 5 months, and admittedly, he didn't know that much about Jesse Owens at first, but then he did his research, including spending a lot of time with the Olympian's daughters.
I have to pinch myself when I see the posters, when I see the trailers, because he's really this larger than life man, and I can't believe that this story has landed in my lap 80 years later and that I get to tell his story. I'm incredibly honored, and a little bit of that weight's been lifted off my shoulders now that his family has seen it and stuff like that. But I mean, I can't begin to explain the shoes that I was filling. Somebody who is so much more than an American hero, so much more than a black hero. He's really a world hero, so an incredible opportunity for me, for sure.
And an incredible opportunity for the students. Part of the reason James visited was to see this mural, created by about 20 CSA students last year with the help of their art teacher, Danny Carver.
Mr. Carver had us all do a little research project on him before we had the chance to work on the mural. He had us learn where he came from, what school he went to, what his life was like, what was time like when he was around. And he really wanted us to put ourselves in his position so that the emotion that we put into our daily art, it comes out into that mural so that it would be the best quality that we can have.
And it paid off. After about 4 months, the project was complete. And out of a dozen student murals across the country representing the movie Race, CSA's was voted the best.
It was something that had to be done because I feel like Jesse Owens, his legacy, a lot of the kids really don't know about the history of what Jesse Owens really means to the city of Cleveland and all the trials and tribulations he had to go through back in 1936. And these kids don't realize that a lot of people had to do with racism, discrimination, to really make a major difference in today's society. And to let these kids, find out who really made a part of their, I would say, freedom, it kind of opened their eyes.
But it's not the only Jesse Owens mural CMSD is proud of. The indoor track at East Tech High School also honors the sports legend, who got his start as a scarab before going on to win 4 gold medals in the 1936 Berlin Olympics.
This is a plaque that I found from Jesse Owens when he was in a high school student here. This is a plaque from 1932, the state championship team that he was on. East Tech actually won 13 state championships.
And a few years later, another future Olympian emerged at East Tech, Harrison Dillard. Those legends still inspire students and the current athletic director, an East Tech grad who also ran track and coached the team in recent years.
Being an athlete, every time we went to a track meet, you carried that knowing that you had to get out there and produce, because anywhere you go in the state of Ohio and you have on an East Tech shirt, jersey, or anything, the expectations were kind of high because of the legacy that Jesse Owens and Harrison Dillard left. And being an athletic director now, it actually gives me a chance to help out all of the sports.
And all of the students. He invited another former East Tech track star, Akeem Bradley, to speak at an assembly before the students attended a private advanced screening of the movie Race, made possible by the organization Do More for Good and Focus Films.
Because of the sacrifices that Jesse Owens and Harrison Dillard did, it opened doors for me to be able to come to school in East Tech and compete.
If it wasn't for Jesse Owens, if it wasn't for Harrison Dillard and all of the pride and all of the history, the doors that they opened, that may not have been possible for me. My life would probably have taken another path. But because they did that, I was able to do what I did. And I will always be appreciative of it, always.
And now students have a deeper appreciation too, for both Jesse Owens and the actor Stephan James. I was at Tower City Cinemas for their reactions after seeing Race, and they were genuinely moved.
It was awesome. Like everything about it, just how him coming from like a color standpoint and him having to go through all that was just amazing. And he just got to overcome all that. And I just felt so good in the end because he just overcome all the struggles that he had. It just inspires me to do great things. Like the way I'm going, they said I'm doing good, but I want to do better now. This is definitely the impact of Black History Month right here.
I cried a little bit. It was amazing. It really made me realize that you can go forward and do what you want to do without people having to tell you what you can and can't do. And it was awesome.
There was only one tiny critique from current student athletes at East Tech.
They should have showed East Tech more.
I think they should have put East Tech in it because that's where he came
Right,
from.
yeah, I ain't see East
and
Tech.
And he did. And he came from my neighborhood too. The movie caught my eye. I usually don't pay attention to movies that much, but that was a great movie.
Now he's just showing off.
Race is now open in theaters, and if you want to check out the mural, it's at the Lonnie Burton Rec Center on East 46th Street. For more stories like this, visit the CMSD News Bureau online at clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. From athletics to the arts, there are many different criteria that go into choosing the right school for you. And right now, it's high school choice season for 8th graders. Hear what students and families have to say from the School Choice Fair. It's time for 8th graders to choose their CMSD high schools. Hundreds of students and their families attended the High School Choice Fair on January 27th at the Wolstein Center. Parents and caregivers were able to talk one-on-one with staff from the high schools and even enroll on the spot. I spoke with families and students about the experience. Check it out.
She's going to be attending high school next year. So, we have so many options right now. So just came down here to kind of get a good, glimpse at what the different high schools had to offer to, get her on the right path to start high school.
We just really wanted to get a jump start and see all the schools.
Well, what actually brought me to Cleveland Public Schools is that my grandson has always gone to a private school from K through 6th grade. And I discovered that he wasn't performing well academically. And so I did a little research. I sat in the classroom. I called Columbus to find out how this private school is graded and found out that they really weren't. So I went on a search to find a good school for Nicholas. My mom had always worked for Cleveland Public Schools my entire life, so that's why I started. And so I interviewed schools East Side and West Side, and finally found the school that he's attending now, which is Clark Elementary School. And I tell you, it has made a world of difference. His grades are excellent now, his confidence, him going to Clark Elementary, meeting the staff and the teachers, they care about the kids, they care about the learning, and I tell you, I have fallen in love with Cleveland Public Schools. I'm moving my granddaughter. She'll be coming out of private, going into 2nd grade at a Cleveland Public School. And I tell you, it's just made a difference. It's just made a world of difference. And things like this gives us this information that we can make the best possible choices for our children and for our families. And that's really what it's all about. I want to make a good decision.
We stopped at MLK because, it's in the community. We stopped at Max Hayes. They have a lot of different trades and stuff like that. So we pretty much basically went off a location and, trades because she wants to get a job.
We really stopped and looked at every table and just tried to see, which one interests us the best. And we did find a few that we were really excited about. That really gave us an idea of what each school was like and which one we really did want to go to.
Yeah. If you missed this event, you missed a lot. It was really awesome.
If you missed the Choice Fair, don't worry. You can explore all of the high school options by visiting the new School Choice portal online at choosecmsd.org. You can see it here behind me. It includes interactive maps and academic data. You can log in and make your choice, simple as that. The school choice period is also open to students and families selecting K-8 or pre-K-8 schools. It runs from January 25th to March 16th. Students can still choose schools after March 16th, but responding before the deadline will improve chances of getting their first selection. For more information, visit choosecmsd.org, and for more in-depth CMSD news stories, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. Students at New Tech at Collinwood took it a step further than just the fair, creating their own video showcasing their school and what makes it special. Take a look at this student-made film about New Tech at Collinwood.
Before I came to New Tech, I thought it was a horrible school. I thought it was all about violence. But when I came here, I seen that none of it was true. I get along with all my classmates, and my teachers care about us very much. Here at New Tech, it's not all about fighting. At New Tech, it's a 0% tolerance for fighting, bullying, and anything else that can harm the kids here.
What I like about New Tech is that the teachers help you out if you don't understand something or have trouble understanding something. They'll offer extra help if you still have trouble understanding something or need help with some work. They'll help you with your work and make it easier on you if you still have trouble trying to understand it after all the help they gave.
I thought New Tech was going to be boring, pointless. But now that I'm here, I actually like the group work. Like the group work, working with the project-based learning, working on computers. And we don't have teachers, we have facilitators and family.
I like New Tech because the learning experience that you have, and it's also just a fun environment to be around and working on computer. You also get awarded for your grades and your behavior. So we went to Dave & Buster's this year so far, and we just went roller skating last week. And we're going to a college trip next week at Youngstown State University.
Project-based learning is group work we learn through projects in our core classes are combined. For example, we have a geodesign class that integrates geometry and interior design.
Trust passes are hall passes basically. We also use them to be able to go on field trips and get random rewards for having them on. Trust passes symbolize the trust our teachers have for us. We get treated more like adults.
We have 7 character strengths that we use every day. These strengths are zest, curiosity, social intelligence, self-control, grit, optimism, and gratitude. Character strengths are more predictive of success after high school than GPA and SAT scores.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Bryson. I am a physical science teacher here at New Tech at Collinwood. This is my 3rd year teaching at Collinwood, and this is my 2nd year teaching at New Tech. My 1st year teaching, everything was, pretty standard, the way traditional schools are, traditional lessons, exit tickets, direct teaching. You do pretty much what you've done for the last 8 or 9 years of your life. In New Tech, on the other hand, we do the same sort of things when it's necessary, but it's embedded into a project that we attempt to make as authentic as possible for you. So as an example, one project that we've done 2 years in a row is our Run For It project, where you learn about the content, so you learn about speed and acceleration and velocity. But you do it in an experiment that is real life. So you do an experiment on the football players on our Collinwood team. So you're doing something that is real. So you're learning the content, but you're learning it in a real, authentic way.
So our students this year are more engaged in asking deeper questions than in a traditional classroom setting. I really like the fact that when students have a question, we don't, as teachers, don't have to have an answer for them right away. We can direct you guys to look up the answers on your own, and I think that really creates more of a dialogue between teachers and students than I've ever had in my classroom before.
So this year our 10th grade fashion design students are working on a project with NASA. They'll be working on bags like these, soft good bags, and inside these bags, astronauts will store things that they'll actually take up into the Space Center. And because our students are novice sewers, just beginning, they're going to be sewing things like the straps and the pockets that go on the soft goods bag. And we're going to begin that project really soon. And when we are done, we've been invited to an award ceremony at NASA. There's also going to be a kickoff field trip with NASA. We're really excited.
Family Time is a mentoring group that each student is a part of during the regular day of classes. Each student is given one teacher and sometimes 2 teachers that they can rely on to check on them for grades, to help them with social and emotional learning, to build a cohesive unit, and to help them with other teachers or students if they have problems. They do competitions each week and monthly, and they compete against other family times to earn points. At the end of the year, the group with the most points goes on a college visit trip, where this year we'll be going to Atlanta. Last year we went to Boston, and we saw Harvard. They get to hang out, have fun, and build social intelligence together while competing against other classrooms.
Finally, we want to end on a fun note featuring a principal that will do just about anything to get her students motivated. We call this the human sundae. Sprinkles, whipped cream, chocolate sauce, key ingredients for any ice cream sundae, and also just some of the toppings poured on a CMSD principal's head when she became a human sundae. This wasn't a prank. It was all part of Principal Victoria Janke-Musti's plan to get McKinley students motivated, and it definitely worked. Their test scores were the cherry on top.
They were challenged back in October to earn 10 points more on the reading and math NWA, so the students who met the challenge get to pour all kinds of sundae ingredients over the top of my head. We have over 70 students that qualified, and we had students gain 56 points more. One student gained an average of 30 points or more on each test. The students who met the challenge, they'll come up to the stage, they'll pick an ingredient off the desk that's on the stage and dump it over my head for a few seconds. Whipped cream, chocolate syrup, strawberry syrup, caramel syrup, sprinkles, marshmallows, no nuts. We don't want to have any allergies. The students are motivated by unique things, and I want the students to have fun when they come to school and learn, and it just gave them incentive to work really hard for a few months so that they can achieve even beyond the goal that was set for them. It's all worth it.
Principal Musti became a human sundae for the first time last year, and this time around she had 20 more students meet the challenge. She already promised the school a silly string mountain for the next round of tests. For more sweet stories like this, visit clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Reporting from the CMSD TV studio, I'm Shannon Kantner. And now I want ice cream. That's all the time we have. For more stories, visit the CMSD News Bureau at clevelandmetroschools.org/news. Thanks for tuning in. Looking for a quality Cleveland school for your child? Join the Cleveland Transformation Alliance and Pre4CLE at Cleveland's first ever School Quality Fair. You'll have the chance to meet staff from high-quality preschools and Cleveland's highest-performing public K-8 schools. The fair will be held at Public Auditorium on March 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Register your child for school by bringing an ID, immunization records, birth certificate, and proof of residence. For more information, visit schoolqualityfair.org or call 216-592-2435.